Hey, Ryan, what stood out to you most in this series? Because for me, I mean, there's a lot of offense to point to with Tellez and with Cal and Dylan Moore, the player of the week in the American League. But for me, I was harping on, and I'm going to continue to do it because they deserve it, the bullpen. They were asked to cover 12 and a third innings in 3 games. They gave up 2 total runs, 1 earned run. To me, was the biggest thing. But what stood out for you?
You had a situation in the Red series and then the Blue Jay series as well, where you didn't let anything slide in regards to facing bad pitching. And what I mean by that is this, right? So the lefty who the Blue Jays rolled out the other day, I'm watching that guy, man. All right, this is what good offenses do. If this kid cannot land secondary pitch, if that fastball is not going to get below belt, jump on him, knock him out of the game. And that's what good teams do, because you are going to run into those pitches. If you have a mid-range guy, not an ace, but someone who's like middle of the rotation. I was just paying attention. All right, you have someone not on the ropes necessarily, but you have someone who's slipping a little bit, and he's not up to speed with 3+ pitches. Command is not good. All right, good offenses jump on him, and that's exactly what they did.
All right, Ryan, I don't want to crap on the parade here because, we got Cal Raleigh, Raleigh going, Demo's hitting righties even, Arozarena.
Slashing lefties, by the way. Woo.
Yeah, anyway. Absolutely killing.
Yeah.
Julio, what do we make of him? And this really is just planning ahead because I know at some point he's gonna get hot. But what are you seeing from him? Just kind of a check-in on Julio Rodriguez.
Man, that's a tough one because I feel like, especially April, May, every time, last couple of years, even, going back a couple of years when he was going off and, hitting homers in the home run derby and was all over, whatever. Yeah. I feel like April, May, when I jump on with Wyman and Bob, the question every other week is, okay, what's going on with Julio? It just,
yeah, that's right.
It seems like it's consistent. The hard thing with him, I find, is to really break him down. He's so streaky. I mean, man, the guy is so streaky. He all of a sudden will just – the at-bats are ever changing. Like, there will be a situation where, guys are trying to pound him up and in. And he just looks like there's just nothing doing offensively whatsoever. And then, boom, they make a subtle mistake and he absolutely crushes it. It's really hard to get a gauge. I will say this. It's kind of nice to see the supporting cast and everyone below him doing what they're doing, because we can take the focus, even though you brought him up, but take the focus off Julio just a little bit. And if he is going to be streaky, and if there is something he's working through, or there's one little approach sign from him saying, I am quite unsure about how this guy's going to pitch, because that's what it looks like. It looks like he's going up on the on-deck circle, and he has a good feel. Swing feels great, has a good approach from his end, but there's a little bit of where he's unsure about how he's going to get pitched to, just by some of the swings and then the reaction from some of the swings. So there's still a little bit of that with him where I think he may be second-guessing himself with how he's being pitched. And again, it's amazing how streaky the guy is. It really is. It's crazy.
What's your take on Arozarena? Because to me, I'm looking at him going, yeah, he's hitting 200. He's got a 354 on base. So he's taking his walks. His average is not good, but it feels like every hit he's had has been clutch. It either wins the game, ties the game, walk-off walk. He's got a knack so far early this season for coming up really big in the most crucial moments.
Yeah, I think, first of all, when I look at him, and I sort of put this in the same category as Julio, when you're talking about the at-bats and the approach, it's interesting, man. He looks like he misses pitches by 3 feet, and then he gets 0-2, and then all of a sudden the at-bat changes, and then it's 3-2. I swear to God, I think he's 70-80% of his pitches, at least at-bats, are 2-2 counts. Like, he is getting so deep in these at-bats where he'll slip behind, fight, and fight. And if they make a mistake, he's crushing. If they don't, if they throw something away, there's going to be maybe a bad swing and look really bad. But you're right, man. I think he's coming up big, in big situations. He's looked way better of late. I think the first week of the season, he was scalding the ball, hitting the ball hard everywhere, and just no results. Then he kind of slipped into this nothing really doing, and looked a little frustrated. But I think he's starting to find that sort of that happy medium more so lately. Plus, he looks like he's having fun too. Like I just feel like he's so tough to figure that dude out in regards to what kind of personality he is. We've all talked about that. He just looks like he's enjoying himself more, and he's able to have his own approach. Or doesn't feel like he's got to make up for lost time like last year when he came to the Mariners. So I think everything's starting to level out, and I just have this feeling with him. Similar to Julio, if the at-bats are there where he's getting into a situation where he can recognize pitches and then get deeper in the at-bats, because, by the way, no one sees more pitches per plate appearance than Randy. He's up there top 5, Randy Arozarena. Pitches per plate appearance. I know that's not impressive, doesn't jump off the charts, but if you are going to swing and miss that much at certain pitches, especially the slider, he swings and misses at that pitch a ton outside the strike zone. If you can do that, but also have the pitches per plate appearance, that basically tells me that you are going to get mistakes and you're going to be a mistake hitter. And I think that's what he's doing right now. That's where he's starting to sort of to level off a little bit and start crushing these mistakes.
So, Ryan, you had on the top step, that was not my Australian accent. Okay, that one didn't count. You had on some reliever. Was Gabe Speier one of those? One of the guys you had? He's been pretty amazing. I mean, you look at Munoz, and, obviously he is just crushing it right now. But I was looking at Speier, and I know Bob's talked a lot about him. Gabe Speier this year, his opponent average is 133. He's got 11 strikeouts. He's pitched 9 innings. I mean, is he the hottest right now, other than Munoz, when you look at that bullpen?
Yeah, I think with Gabe Speier, first of all, I love it when guys, just backing up a little bit with Gabe Speier, when he had a really bad year last year. And not just injuries. I'm talking performance. He wasn't the same dude. Same in spring training. He's like, oh, yeah, I started doing this and that. And not that you're rolling your eyes saying, oh, I've heard that all before. It's like, all right, let's see how that happens when the lights go on. Like, what's going to be different here? And, man, he is completely different. Confidence through the roof, 95, 96. I think with Gabe Speier, you mentioned with him and Munoz, Gabe is just simply that guy that if you have those – it'll only take either the one really, really good lefty or 2 lefties in a lineup, he's throwing the 8th inning straight up, or the 7th inning. So he's that guy who's just going to simply get the pockets late in the games. But he's, when you have a trust factor, obviously Munoz in the 9th inning. And by the way, I love the fact that he's just been kept to the 9th inning. I can jump into why just in a second. But I think with that, and you got Gabe right behind him, and then you go just trying to piece it together with whether it be Trent Thornton or some of these other unknowns. But I think Gabe's going to get to that place where lefties, righties, doesn't matter. He's going to have to be right behind Munoz as it stands right now until we see, Troy Taylor consistently here, or obviously Matt Brash coming back as well.
Hey, last one before we let you go quickly. Any thoughts on what's gone on with Logan in terms of his ability to get deep into a game? I mean, we saw 4 2/3. He hasn't given up damage, which is interesting. I mean, his ERA is just a shade over 3, yet he's only had one start where he's gone beyond 6 innings. He's gone 5 2/3. One other time he went 7 on opening day, and every other one's been 5 or less.
Yeah, you notice that last start. He goes 50% slider fastball in first 2 to 3 pitches of an at bat, and that goes back to the second half of last year. He was doing the same thing this year. So my take is this: you mentioned it, he's not giving up hits, he's not giving up hard hits. Ton of foul balls, a lot of misses. All those misses, foul balls, 25, 30 pitches early in a game. It's just going to eat alive your pitch count. So my take is this: the slider is really, really letting him down right now. It's a pitch that is either getting hung out over the middle of the plate. And you watch next start. If he goes to that slider, you watch the better contact or balls that are fouled off and not swing and miss pitches. The ones that keep at bats alive is the slider. And then what happens is he gets to that 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, and his pitch count's already 60 at that point. And then he kind of puts the slider in the back pocket, and it's fastball split. I don't think he quite has that plus slider that we saw for 80% of the time last year. When he gets that back, the efficiency will go up, and you'll start, trending towards being more of a 200 inning guy. Because right now he's looking at like throwing 175 innings, and there's nothing wrong with that. But all the starters are going really short right now, and that's what's really the bullpen. You mentioned that in the beginning of the chat. But he's looking at 5 innings. Why? Because he's just the pitch count is getting eaten alive because the slider, that big weapon early in counts, just isn't there for him right now.
Ryan, great stuff as always, my friend. Looking forward to hearing you on the call. Have fun out there, and we'll talk to you when you get back.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
There he is.